Hi, this is Dan Bullard, retired electronics engineer on the front deck of my houseboat again. We're only 2 months from equinox, so yay, we're getting there. I wanted to mention, I want to make these videos shorter. I don't want to bore the hell out of you. I found this website, Circuit Digest. Went to Circuit Digest and I found this guy's explanation of harmonics, and he follows a line of current harmonics causing voltage harmonics, which is complete horseshit. You'll see this all over the place. I tried changing this on Wikipedia and they took it away from me. They closed me down and put back the current harmonics horseshit. There's no such thing. I mean, they make a meter that measures current harmonics. And yes, in current you can measure harmonics, just like in voltage you can measure harmonics. But and on the VistaVision, I was in marketing when they came out with something called a VIA. And so engineering and marketing had already had their input, so I basically picked it up. But the VIA was pretty cool in one way. It had a memory that could measure voltage or current from the VIA. So basically it's a VI, force current, programmable force current, or programmable force voltage, and it could measure current or measure voltage. And you had a memory that you could program to measure current or voltage. And so in the micro-instruction memory you can tell it, and I did this in a couple cases. Measure voltage, measure current, measure voltage, measure current. So you could get the real-time power usage of anything. It only did 200 milliamps, so the power was relatively limited. But 200 milliamps, you could have it measure voltage and current, voltage and current, voltage and current. So this guy, he believes in the current harmonics bullshit. And you can, I swear to God, you can buy meters that measure harmonic currents, current harmonics, or voltage harmonics. But, you know, when I worked for Tektronix, one of the companies from the Tektronix parent company was Danaher. And Danaher had a division called Fluke, and they make meters that measure current harmonics and voltage harmonics. And as I always say, if it's accurate, it's a fluke, which means, you know, you're rolling the dice. You know, if it's, I don't know. I mean, fluke meters might be good, but why name it a fluke? You know, hey, I measured 23 volts on this thing. Whoa, well that must be a fluke. Sure. Okay, so this guy came up with this fucking Sanjay Gupta is what his name was. He came up with this article, and he showed this graphic. And I told you a number of times, never believe hand-drawn graphics. Everybody does it. And if you're too stupid to use Excel or MATLAB or whatever, I mean, I used to do it on my graphing calculator. If you're too stupid to make a sine wave on a graphing calculator or an Excel or in MATLAB or whatever, then you've got no business being in electronics. But this guy drew this thing, and you can clearly see that to make this graphic that looks like a sine wave, kind of looks like a sine wave, he took a coffee cup, you put it on a piece of paper, you drew around it, and then he took his coffee cup and moved it and drew around it. And that's how you do it. You take a coffee can or coffee cup or, you know, a can of beans or whatever, and that's how he made this fucking sine wave. It's not a sine wave. That's not even close. A sine wave has a very specific look to it, and it ain't this, for sure. But then if you look at his current, load current, and you can do, like I said, you can do this on the VIA. You can measure voltage and current, voltage and current, voltage and current at some fairly fast sample rate. So you could do this on a VIA on the VistaVision. But look at this thing. He just hand drew this friggin' thing. It's just jiggling. In fact, in one case, in a couple of cases, he's got the time going backwards. Okay? Now, if he's going to claim that he's found a way to make time go backwards, that's a time machine. You could use a time machine to go back in time and change an election or, you know, change a war or whatever. You know, so he did not get this from a VIA. He did not get this from any kind of a fluke meter or anything like that. And if he did, yeah, that looks like it's a fluke. So I saw this on this guy's website, this Circuit Digest website. Oh man, I got a comment on this. I got to rip this guy to shreds. And that's not what I'm all about. I'm not all about ripping people to shreds. But I had a rule years ago, I mean like decades ago, I had a rule: never ever draw a sine wave. Never draw something that you could do in a graphing calculator or Excel or whatever. You've got to find a way to do it. And I would take snapshots of the screen, which I do very often, to make videos. So I went to Circuit Digest and I signed up and gave it my name and my password, my dan@employer.com email, and gave it a password. And you get this, I got this. The username Dan has not been activated or has been blocked. Now, which do you think it is? I think they blocked me. I think the word's out. Dan Bullard is making a fuss. He's going around and telling people he knows what he's talking about, and they probably blocked me. I'll let you know, but they're blocking me. They're blocking me, and they don't want you to know a basic fact of physics. It's, okay, I'm not Galileo. They haven't put me in prison yet, but they might. I mean, who knows? They just might. So they basically blocked me totally. I can't publish anything. Now, I have to say, KDP, Amazon's KDP, and LinkedIn, they're great. They're great. KDP let me publish my books, 4 of them. So I got 4 books published on Amazon. You can buy them if you want, whatever. And you can review them. So peer-reviewed. Come on, Tony, peer-review. On LinkedIn, I've written something I failed to mention. I've written 100 articles on LinkedIn. And Tony, go to LinkedIn. Oh, that was beautiful. Go to LinkedIn and review my articles. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Tell me my eyes are too slanty, You can go to LinkedIn and look at all my articles. I've written a lot of articles, and you can actually watch as I develop my ideas for the Bullard laws of harmonics. And you can see where I finally discovered Law 5, which is that the harmonics of a distorted sine wave are always at 0, 90, 180, and 270 degrees relative to the fundamental, the sine wave. And I did Davor's law there too, with a cosine wave at 0 and 180. That's guaranteed, absolutely true. Now, if it's a different number, that's hysteresis. So I'm saying it's true, stick to it. You can use that to then measure things like hysteresis. So if it's not 0 and 90 and 180, 270, you're measuring hysteresis. And you can measure that and tell what the hysteresis is. And there are devices that have hysteresis, even positive or negative feedback devices that have some hysteresis. But you can watch those laws be developed on LinkedIn. So if you have a comment, go ahead and make it, and I'll try to. YouTube does clean up comments. I have no input on that, but I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you watching my videos, and for my followers out there, for people, I got almost 4,300 subscribers. I appreciate you. I really do. You're my audience, and I really appreciate that. I really do. And I know some people. I've talked to some people. They're trying to get my word out as much as possible. And so, if you can, great. If you don't want to, that's fine. And if you disagree with me, please tell me I'm wrong. I've been looking all over the web to find out, am I right or am I wrong? Or has somebody else discovered this first, or have I discovered it first? And it looks like I discovered it first. These other guys, they come up with all these specious arguments, the complete fucking waste of time, garbage arguments. None of them are true. None of them. my laws of physics are true. What I want a Nobel Prize, and I want a PhD. Not an honorary PhD, I want a real PhD. And I want the money that comes with that. Give it to me, right fucking now. So, I appreciate you watching it. Thank you very much. And once again from the river, this is Dan Bullard.